All right, guys, so we're going to look at lesson 2.3 today, and our objective is we're going to be looking at what factors are and factor pairs. Okay, and so we're going to go a couple slides ahead here, and we're going to look here. So it says, how well do you know your multiplication facts? So this lesson is all about factors. And if you know anything about a factor, I'm going to write the definition of a factor over here to the side. A factor is a number in a multiplication problem. Okay. It's one of the facts that you're going to use, and hence the name factor. So when you have a factor, it's the numbers that you have in the multiplication problem, but not the answer. Okay. The product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Okay, so when I look at this problem right here, 4 times 3, I've got a couple different things here. I've got factors, which are 4 and 3, and then I've got a product, which is 12, because that's the answer. So whenever you're talking about factors, know that it's the numbers in the multiplication problem, and then the product is the answer. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So if we go ahead and come out here, I'm going to skip a couple ahead here. So we're going to be able to today give all the factors for a given number. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do that. So if I was looking at doing the factors for 30, one way that I can do it is I can list all of the multiplication facts that I know. Okay, so I can start with 1. I could do 1 times 30. Then I would go to a 2. Well, I know I can do 2 times 15. Then I would do 3. 3 times 10. See, all of these numbers, when I multiply them together, all equal that number 30. There is no number times 4 times to give me 30, but I could do 5 times 6. And then my next number would be 6. So this tells me that I'm done. These are all of the multiplication facts that I could do, since my next number that I would put over here would be a 6, and I've already listed 6 over here. There's another way that I could do all of my multiplication facts as well. I could do something called a factor rainbow. So it's the same kind of idea, but when I do it, I start with the smallest number 1 over here, and then on the other side, I always know I'm going to multiply it times itself to get that 30. And I'm going to loop these like that. It's going to kind of form a rainbow. Put a comma in between it. My next number would be a 2. And then over here, I would say, okay, well, I know I'm going to multiply that by 15. So now I've got a second multiplication fact that I would connect like that. And then I could do a comma. 3 is my next number. Over here on the other side, I would multiply it by 10. I can connect them again. Do you see how I'm forming that rainbow? Again, 4 is not a factor because there's nothing that I can multiply it times to get 30. But 5 is my next factor. And I would multiply that by 6. So I would connect those. The way that I know that I'm done in my factor rainbow is because I've already got to 6, and that's my next number. So I'm not gonna repeat those factors again. Okay, so all of the factors of 30 are 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30. These are the math facts. So it said equations with 2 factors, and I listed those over here. These are the equations right here with 2 factors. This is a factor. This is a factor. This is 1 factor. That's 2 factors. So all of those would be the factor pairs. A pair is 2 numbers that equal 30. And then, so I could tell you that 1 and 30 are a factor pair, 2 and 15 are a factor pair, 3 and 10 are a factor pair, and 5 and 6 are a factor pair. So on your math journal page, let me see if I can make this a little bit larger. Not look like I can. All right, so on this math journal page, I'm not going to do it for you, but it's going to ask you to write out the equations with two factors, and then over here, write the factor pairs. So for example, if I was doing 20 right now, I would say, okay, well, I know I can do 1 times 20. Then I would go to my next number, 2. Yeah, I can do 2 times 10. My next number would be a 3. There's nothing that I can do times 3, so that's not going to be listed. 4 I could do 4 times 5. And then my next number would be a 5, but I've already listed that, so I don't have to start again. So these are my equations with two factors. And then when I come over here to do my factor pairs, I'm really just listing them like this. 1, 20. And I'm going to put a parentheses around them. That tells me that these two numbers are a factor pair. 2, 10, that's a factor pair. And then 4, 5, that's a factor pair. So there are 3 factor pairs because there are 3 math facts that I could equal together to get 20. So I want you to try 16 and 13, 27 and 22, or 32. Remember, just start at 1. If you need help, look at your multiplication chart, okay? Try not to just guess. If you're not sure, look and see if that number is a factor or not, okay?